Hello everyone, it's Tim, and with summer on the horizon, I thought it would be a good opportunity to connect this week. This might be a longer video, so if you're watching on YouTube, we'll put the chapters in the descriptions. Before I get into business, I'd like to acknowledge something that has been on all of our minds this week. The heartbreaking discovery of 215 children buried in unmarked graves at the former Kamloops residential school simply breaks my heart, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. Over the years, I've worked with a number of people from Kamloops, students and leaders alike, and this week I've been thinking of them as I've been thinking about all of you who are dealing with the legacy of residential schools across Canada. Across our nation, for more than 100 years, more than 150,000 Indigenous children were taken from their families, forced to attend residential schools, and so many have shared horrific accounts of what happened to them there. And of course, many of these children died. While words like tragic or heartbreaking and devastating strike the right tone, they are not sufficient. So I think it's time to stop and reflect about the scale of this and the impact that it is having on people. I know that there are many calls for action, and I personally think that the best way we can respond is to double down on our commitment to the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I think education is a contribution that schools like MRU can make. I've previously spoken about our Indigenous strategic plan. I've spoken about some of our training like 4 Seasons for Reconciliation, and you can find out more about those and click on the link below. But for right now, I think that we should stop and think and focus on the tragedy and support those people in our communities that are most grieving. There's an awful lot going on in the world right now. I have been contacted during the last week or so, not only by people who are grieving the Kamloops discovery, but of course people who are concerned about the violence in the Middle East, as well as, of course, the ongoing impact of the pandemic. If you need support, please consider the programs and services offered by Mount Royal, as well as those available in the community, and we'll link some of those below. Even if you don't need them, I think it's really good to remember that they're there for you. Changing gears somewhat. As I look ahead to the next few months, the beautiful weather and my calendar tell me summer is just around the corner, and I'm quite certain that this summer will be nicer than last summer. As vaccinations go up and hospitalizations come down, the province is opening up, and Mount Royal is opening up as well. As teams transition back to campus over the summer months, I want to recognize all the MRU employees and contractors who never left campus during the pandemic. Last March, when most of us left to work from home, a number of you needed to stay in order to manage our on-site operations and offer health-related services. And I want to thank you for keeping the home fires burning. I know your colleagues are looking forward to seeing you when we all return to campus. My profound thanks for everything you've done over the pandemic. And turning to Convocation, next week is another exciting time for Mount Royal. And just as we did in November, we will be holding physically distanced drive-in Convocation from June 7th to 10th. Convocation is one of my favorite things that we do at the university, and with 8 ceremonies in total, we will recognize the accomplishments of hundreds of graduates this year. Grads and their families will attend the ceremonies in their vehicles, listening to the program on their radios, and watching the ceremony on big screens. If you have time, I hope you'll join in on one of the live streams. On a related note, I know there are several MRU employees who have family members who are graduating this month. Since we need to remain socially distanced for convocation ceremonies, if you're interested, I am certainly willing. I would be pleased, in fact, to have the opportunity to congratulate your graduate in person. So if you're interested in having me meet your graduate to present or represent their parchment to them, take a quick photo, please email president@mtroyal.ca with details and we can make arrangements. Depending on the update, scheduling may be a little bit of a challenge, but just let us know. And should anyone be wondering, I use the word family in the broadest sense. If they are family to you, I will take your word for it. I think it's a very small way for me to thank MRU employees for all they do for the university. In other good news, I hope some of you saw my note in our community about July 2nd. I think we can all agree it's been a really challenging year, and I want to show my deep appreciation to everyone for all you've done during the pandemic. So I've decided that Friday, July 2nd will be a day off for all employees. This day off will provide a 4-day weekend and a bit of a longer break so you can rest, recharge, and hopefully enjoy some of the nice weather, and you all deserve a bit of a break. I recognize some areas on campus, because of the time of year, aren't able to take that day, and supervisors will find an alternative day for those units. But please enjoy that extra day off. In closing, I want to take a moment to thank everyone for all you've done for Mount Royal during this academic year. Despite everything that has been thrown at us, we've seen a lot of success, some fantastic accomplishments for our entire campus community. So thanks to all of you who have shared stories and notes of support with me. It means an awful lot to me. It's an honor to lead this university and its remarkable people. And please take care and enjoy the sunshine.